gentle viewers, and welcome to another episode of Alistair Reviews It. And today I'm going to be talking about the end of the year books I will be unwrapping. So, this year I actually made my Goodreads goal of 30 books within the year, and I finished it out in November. And then for some reason, after that, I just stopped reading. And I have several books that I was reading and I just put down for no reason. And then I had a couple books I promised to get to before the end of the year. So I'm putting down some of the books I was already reading and then picking up some of the books I promised to get to. I had my husband wrap up these books so I don't know which is which. And I'm going to unwrap them. And the first one I unwrap is the first one I'm going to start reading. So let's get to it. First one I'm unwrapping is Snowman. Let's see what Snowman is. Let's see. You ever go to those family gatherings and then they try to just unwrap it really nice? Yeah, that's not me. Now here we have Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse, and I can tell you that I'm very excited to start this one. It's one of the ones that I've been most excited about. I know it's a Native American inspired fantasy, and I've never read a Native American inspired fantasy, and I heard that she is a great new voice in the epic fantasy genre. So I'm gonna finish this. I am going to finish this before the end of the year. It's gonna happen. Next, let me see what this is. It's a stripy one. And this is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Another one that I've promised to read before the end of the year. I think I promised to read this one before Black Sun, but I got to Black Sun first. I'm going to read Black Sun first, and then I'm going to read this one. Sorry, I smell books, so if it seems weird, it's because I smell books. Anyways, Legendborn, I know it's not a retelling, but it's a modern day look at the Arthurian fantasy times, and it's an urban fantasy. It's YA, I believe, kind of young adult, new adult at the same time, and it gets into this new character who discovers her connection to Arthurian time. So I'm very excited for this one, as I've been for all of these. And next, but definitely not least, the snowflake, blue snowflake thing. And it's a little bit thinner. Let's see what it is. Okay, it's Ready Player 2. So I've heard some good things and some really bad things about this book. Some people are like, hey, if you just take it for face value, it's actually pretty good. Other people are like, it completely betrays the first book, and the first book is the only book that counts. But which I think is very grown up of me, considering the fact that I would never do this 2 years ago, and with those comments, gonna actually read this book. If I get through Black Sun and Legendborn, this will be the third book I pick up. Now let's talk about these books that I have definitely neglected, that have been on my TBR for quite a while. I can for sure say that I'm going to finish Anti-Darken, because I have consistently been going through this book, because it's part of my buddy read for my book club with Ian Carlos Crawford from Slayer Fest 98. So I'm definitely going to finish this one, and I'm so far very much enjoying it. I think what I enjoy the most right now are the characters in this book, because the characters are unlike any other characters you will find in probably any other book I have read. So they're very unique, very themselves, and I'm enjoying them growing and coming into the people that they're going to be in this series. Next I have Fires of Vengeance by Evan Winter. This is probably my second most anticipated read of the year. I might cheat a little bit. No, I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to do it. But I read a significant portion of this book, and then I put it down as soon as Rhythm of War came in, even though I put everything else down just for this one. So I've been very conflicted. I think that as a reader, I am starting to realize this year that I can't juggle. I can't be juggling multiple books at once. I thought I could, and I was reading like 7 books at once, and I can't because then I neglect the other ones, and I feel like I do not enjoy that much. I think the most I can do is read 2 books at a time, and they have to be different than each other. If I'm going to read like a contemporary with my husband, or historical fiction with my husband, really, or horror with my husband, really stuff that me and my husband read together, I can do that at the same time as reading fantasy books. So I'm probably going to limit myself to 2 to 3 books at a time. Third, really pushing it this coming next year. So, because I was really liking this one, and then I put it down. And I also get really anxiety ridden when I read epic books like this, like Rhythm of War, and I have to stand up and take a walk and stuff like that. And it's not good if I put it down, because if I put it down, it's, I don't know, it's like quitting a race, and I can't be putting this down. Like, I haven't picked up Dark Age from Pierce Brown in forever, the 5th book in the Red Rising saga. I haven't done it. Was it the 5th book? Yeah, the 5th book in the Red Rising. I haven't done it because of the anxiety, and I think that's one of the things I'm going to correct myself this next year. I didn't read. I didn't watch the last episode of Game of Thrones until a week ago. It wasn't. Obviously, it was probably a good decision not to watch the last episode of Game of Thrones. Didn't watch the last episode of How I Met Your Mother until very recently. I have trouble with these things, which is ironic, because I love conflict. Well, not in my life, but in books, in fantasy, in fiction. I love it, but I also get really anxious. So, anyways, rant over. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I was very much enjoying reading this one, and I want to finish it. It'll probably be in my January TBR if I don't get to it. I doubt I'll get to all these books. I really do, especially with a couple weeks left for December. So I'm really going to focus on Black Sun and Legendborn. Those are going to be the 2 books I focused on the most. Next, I have, and lastly, I have Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. And I've read about 100. I've read till here in the book, and actually it started picking up when I put it down, and I put it down because Fires of Vengeance came out, and this was actually a buddy read with a friend of mine from TikTok, but she kind of had a reading slump at the same time, so I was like, oh, it'll be okay for me to put down for a bit, and then we can both come back to it, and I think it was getting good. This actually won the, I think, Goodreads award for fantasy books, adult fantasy books, and this is her first adult fantasy book, and I'm curious to see whether it's worth the title. I can tell by reading a fifth of this book that it is good, but I'm very curious to see whether it's worth the title. I'm actually doing a Goodreads 2021, well, no, sorry, I'm actually doing a Goodreads 2020 reaction video tomorrow. Should be coming out tomorrow, so look out for it, where I talk about who the winners were, who I think maybe would have deserved, a nod, and maybe what books I'm going to try to pick up and explore this next year based on the nominees and the ratings that Goodreads has compiled. So we'll see about that one. Anyways, that concludes my unwrapping the last books I'm going to read this year. I finished 30 out of 30. Hopefully I can make it to 31 or 32. I don't know. I typically read really big books. So I feel like if I divided those up, it would be a lot better. But I'm also a very slow reader who likes to kind of sit with their books for a while and kind of like feel in the moment. So that's how I am. How do you guys read? How has your reading year gone? Please let me know in the comments down below. And please ding that bell if you want to be notified. Subscribe, like, follow me on Twitter, Instagram. I have a TikTok now. I have a Goodreads. And I'm starting my Discord probably at the beginning of this next year. So, adios, gentle viewers. Until next time.